Life often unfolds in a chaotic tapestry where moments of clarity are rare but immensely valuable. I, Marcus Aurelius, have walked the path of seeking understanding amid chaos. And now, centuries later, the struggles of humankind remain as familiar as the shadows that trail us. Today, I speak not from the marble halls of Rome, but to the modern individual, adrift in the digital seas of TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, seeking answers to the complexities of the human psyche. These digital spaces, though vast, echo the marketplaces of my era, where the clamor of voices often drowns out the whispers of wisdom. It is amidst this din that I hope to offer a beacon, guiding you toward deeper understanding and true insight. Allow me to guide you through the fog of understanding personality disorders, much like I would guide my legions through unknown terrain. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast and uncharted wilderness. The terrain before you is treacherous, its paths obscured by dense fog, much like the complexities of the human psyche. To navigate such a landscape requires not only courage, but also the wisdom to understand that the straightest path is often an illusion. But first, a cautionary note. The quest for simplified truths and actionable solutions is a double-edged sword. Simplicity, while appealing, often cuts away the depth and nuance needed to truly comprehend a matter. To seek clarity at the expense of complexity is to build a house upon sand, one that will not withstand the inevitable tides of reality. The human mind, like the unknown terrain, demands respect for its intricacy and an acknowledgement of the many layers hidden beneath its surface. In your time, you've created vast marketplaces of ideas, where content creators act as merchants. These merchants, much like the traders in the bustling forums of ancient Rome, are driven by the currency of likes, views, and shares. Their livelihoods depend on delivering what the market demands: clarity, certainty, and instant remedies to the questions that plague modern minds. Yet, the realm of human behavior, much like the nature of virtue itself, is not so easily distilled. It is a complex mosaic, a web of interwoven threads that resist reduction into simple narratives. Just as I once wrote that the impediment to action advances action, so too does embracing complexity advance understanding. True insight requires patience and a willingness to delve into the unknown, resisting the temptation of oversimplification. For just as the artisan's chisel reveals the hidden beauty within the marble, so too does a deeper examination uncover the intricate truths of the human experience. The merchants of ideas may offer their wares in haste, but wisdom, like virtue, demands time and effort to cultivate. Imagine a man, perhaps a father of 2 young children, waking up one day to the slow and painful realization that the partner he shares his life with exhibits traits he has heard described as narcissistic. His nights have grown restless, filled with moments of self-doubt, confusion, and questions he struggles to articulate. The once vibrant connection he cherished now feels like an unraveling thread, leaving him exposed to an emotional storm. Desperate for clarity, he turns to the digital agora, platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and TikTok, seeking solace and answers. There, merchants of knowledge, sensing his vulnerability, eagerly extend their wares. Here is your partner's problem, and here is the solution. Their offerings appear polished and reassuring, adorned with confident claims and quick fixes. Yet, the man remains uneasy. What these merchants fail to convey is that this map, while enticing, is not the territory. The intricate nuances of personality, like the shifting currents of a river, cannot be fully captured in static definitions or one-size-fits-all solutions. Each relationship, each individual, is a unique confluence of experiences, emotions, and choices, much like the blending colors of a sunset, distinct yet intertwined. To reduce such complexity to a tidy framework is to ignore the deeper truths that lie beneath. The human psyche is not a machine with predictable outputs, but a living, breathing organism influenced by countless factors, from upbringing and culture to unspoken fears and unexamined desires. As this man continues his search, he begins to sense that true understanding requires not the comfort of easy answers, but the courage to navigate uncertainty, to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, and to question the very maps he's been handed. He must learn to recognize that these maps, though helpful at times, are but tools, limited in scope, and incapable of capturing the full terrain of human experience. The realization dawns upon him that his partner's behaviors cannot be reduced to a label, nor can their shared history be distilled into simple terms. Instead, he starts to appreciate the value of observing patterns, reflecting deeply, and embracing the complexity of their shared journey. In doing so, he embarks on a path not of blame, but of understanding, not of judgment, but of compassion. The answers he seeks may not come easily or quickly, but the pursuit itself becomes a source of growth and transformation. In my time, we understood that the essence of the self is not fixed, but a river constantly flowing, shaped by the contours of its environment. As the Stoics observed, everything is in flux, a truth that governs not only the external world, but the inner landscape of the mind. This philosophy extends seamlessly to what you call personality disorders. These are not static boxes to be checked or permanent labels to affix to a person. Rather, they are dynamic, shifting processes, cycling through phases much like the changing of the seasons. Narcissism, for instance, is not simply a rigid list of traits to be memorized, but a living tide that ebbs and flows. It moves between elation and depletion, swings from injury to rage, and can shift in response to external circumstances and internal vulnerabilities. To approach it as a fixed entity is to misunderstand its very nature, much like attempting to confine a rushing river to a still pond. True comprehension comes not from rigid classification, but from observing these changes with patience, understanding that each cycle reveals a deeper layer of the human experience. Let me pause here to offer a parallel. In your medical sciences, a disease like pneumonia follows a predictable course. The symptoms, causes, and treatments are well defined, grounded in centuries of observation and experimentation. It is a realm of tangible metrics: fever, inflammation, infection, a realm where cause and effect can often be traced with clarity. But when we step into the vast and intricate domain of psychology, certainty begins to dissolve. The boundaries blur, and definitions become elusive. Even your most learned practitioners, those who have dedicated their lives to understanding the human mind, cannot agree on definitive parameters for conditions such as narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. Their manuals, like your DSMs, are not sacred texts, but evolving compendiums, continually revised as new insights emerge. These efforts, though monumental, remain attempts to grasp the ungraspable, a reflection of humanity's enduring quest to make sense of itself in all its complexity and contradiction. You, the seeker, must understand this. To demand definitive answers where none exist is to court disappointment and misunderstanding. The world of human behavior is an intricate and layered tapestry, not easily unraveled by simplistic explanations. The content creators you follow, despite their best intentions, are pressured to provide clarity where ambiguity reigns, for their survival in the digital marketplace depends on your engagement. They must package complex truths into digestible, appealing snippets that align with the demands of algorithms and audience expectations. Under such conditions, many fold to this pressure, delivering not what you need to know, but what you wish to hear. This is not malice, but a reflection of the structural incentives that drive them, a system that values immediate gratification over the slow, arduous pursuit of wisdom. In this landscape, your task as a seeker is not to passively accept these offerings, but to question, to explore, and to embrace the discomfort of deeper inquiry. Yet, the pursuit of wisdom demands a different approach, a deliberate and thoughtful path that requires humility, patience, and an acceptance of the unknown. The Stoic path teaches us not to shy away from uncertainty, but to embrace it, to hold the tension of not knowing with the same courage as one would face a storm. When you encounter a claim about personality disorders, this is what a narcissist will do, or this is how you must respond. Pause. Reflect deeply. Consider whether the explanation offered is too neat, too definitive, for life is rarely so accommodating. The mind, like the vast ocean, is ever-changing, influenced by unseen currents and shifting tides. Simple answers, while comforting, often obscure the depth of the truth. Instead of seeking closure in oversimplified narratives, dare to delve deeper, to question, to hold space for complexity. In doing so, you align yourself with the true pursuit of wisdom, a journey that values understanding over certainty and insight over easy solutions. Let me share a story from my own life, one that echoes your struggles. As emperor, my days were filled with decisions that would shape the lives of millions. I often faced advisors who offered simple solutions to complex problems. Crush the rebellion, they would say, or tax the provinces more heavily. On the surface, these solutions seemed practical, even obvious. But I understood that such decisions, made without consideration for their ripple effects, would unleash unforeseen consequences. A crushed rebellion might sow seeds of future unrest, as resentment festers in the hearts of the oppressed. An increased tax burden could weaken the very foundations of a province, causing it to collapse under the weight of economic despair. Similarly, in your relationships and your understanding of the mind, beware of the allure of simple fixes. The human experience, much like the governance of an empire, is a tapestry woven from countless threads. Each thread represents a unique history, an emotion, or an influence. To tug at one thread carelessly is to risk unraveling the entire fabric. True wisdom lies not in seizing upon the first apparent solution, but in stepping back, observing the whole, and considering the interplay of all its parts. This approach requires patience and a willingness to embrace complexity, for only then can one act with clarity and purpose. Consider the yin-yang symbol from the East, which you now often depict as static, frozen in artistic renditions or symbols on paper. In truth, it represents perpetual motion, a dynamic interplay of opposites constantly flowing into one another. The black and white segments are not separate realms, but continuous, shifting elements that blend, overlap, and redefine one another with every moment. So too are personality disorders in motion. They are not rigid, compartmentalized boxes, but fluid entities, ever shifting and evolving, responding to a myriad of internal and external influences. They vector into one another, blurring distinctions, defying rigid categorization, and demanding nuanced understanding. For example, borderline personality disorder is often confused with PTSD or bipolar disorder, not because these conditions are identical, but because their symptoms can echo one another, like the refrains of overlapping melodies. The line between these conditions is not a wall, but a permeable boundary, constantly shaped by individual histories, traumas, and biological predispositions. This dynamic nature challenges the human desire for clear definitions, for in psychology, as in life, clarity is often elusive. The recognition of this motion, this endless cycle of transformation, is essential to truly grasping the complexities of the human psyche. I urge you, as I urged myself in the meditations, to cultivate discernment, a skill as essential now as it was in my time. When faced with a diagnosis, whether your own or another's, do not accept it without questioning its foundation. Ask, was this determination made under rigorous conditions, guided by evidence and thorough observation? Was the practitioner deeply qualified and experienced, or was the conclusion reached hastily, influenced by external pressures or biases? And above all, does the diagnosis serve to deepen understanding, or does it merely confine someone within the walls of a label? Labels, while occasionally useful, can constrain our perspective. They reduce the individual to a singular dimension, much like calling a wolf a dangerous beast, ignores its vital role in the ecosystem, its ability to balance and sustain the natural order. Similarly, we must view diagnoses not as final judgments, but as stepping stones toward greater clarity and compassion. True discernment requires this nuanced approach, acknowledging that human behavior and personality are far more intricate than any singular classification can encompass. Let me offer you a final metaphor, one rooted in the timeless art of navigation. Imagine you are a sailor embarking on a perilous journey across an unpredictable sea. The maps you carry, the DSM, the advice of content creators, the countless books and articles, are undoubtedly valuable, offering landmarks and guidance to help you chart your course. Yet these maps, no matter how detailed, can never fully encapsulate the living, breathing reality of the waters you traverse. They are approximations, static depictions of a world in constant motion. As you sail, the true path lies not in blindly following the charts, but in your ability to adapt, to read the winds as they shift, to observe the stars as they reveal your position, and to feel the currents beneath your ship, guiding you through unseen depths. The seas may bring storms, sudden calms, or unexpected obstacles, and your success depends not on the rigidity of your plans, but on the fluidity of your responses. Similarly, the truth about personality disorders and the complexities of the human mind cannot be confined to static definitions or universal formulas. They demand dynamic observation, a willingness to reflect deeply, and the courage to adjust your understanding as new insights emerge. In the vast ocean of human behavior, every individual is an intricate vessel with its unique trajectory, shaped by countless influences, cultural, biological, and experiential. Just as no two voyages are identical, no two minds can be fully understood through the same lens. To navigate these waters requires not just tools, but a deep sense of awareness, humility, and the readiness to embrace uncertainty. Only then can you truly begin to understand the boundless depths of the psyche, navigating its complexities with wisdom and grace. In closing, remember this. The Stoic path is not one of ease, but of resilience, forged in the crucible of challenges and tempered by the wisdom of experience. Do not seek shortcuts, for they lead only to false summits, illusions of success that crumble under the weight of reality. Instead, embrace the intricate tapestry of the human condition, woven from countless threads of joy, sorrow, growth, and struggle. Learn to sit with ambiguity, to find comfort in the spaces where answers are incomplete, and to hold space for multiple truths, even when they seem to conflict. In doing so, you honor the enduring spirit of philosophy, which thrives not in the absence of hardship, but in the mastery of it. With this approach, you prepare yourself not only to endure life's challenges, but to rise above them, meeting them with courage, wisdom, and a steadfast commitment to growth and virtue. The intersection of Stoicism and the study of personality disorders reminds us of one crucial insight. Knowledge must be wielded with humility and reverence. The human mind is a vast and uncharted territory, as mysterious and boundless as the cosmos. Even the wisest among us, those who have spent lifetimes in pursuit of understanding, are but wanderers in this endless landscape, discovering paths as we tread them, often stumbling, occasionally illuminating a corner of the unknown. Each step forward brings not certainty, but a clearer view of the enormity of what remains to be understood. As you continue your journey through this intricate maze of understanding, recall the words of Epictetus. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. These words serve as both a caution and a compass, reminding us that arrogance in knowledge is the greatest impediment to growth. To truly grasp the complexities of personality disorders, one must adopt a mindset of perpetual curiosity, shedding preconceived notions, and embracing the ever-changing nature of understanding. It is only by accepting the limits of our knowledge that we can begin to expand them, one deliberate and thoughtful step at a time. Herein lies the paradox of your time. Technology offers unprecedented access to information, an infinite repository of knowledge at your fingertips. Yet, this abundance often serves as a double-edged sword. While it enables unparalleled opportunities for learning, it also inundates the mind with a flood of fragmented facts, opinions, and unfiltered noise. The sheer volume of data can obscure the wisdom we seek, making the path to understanding feel labyrinthine. When studying personality disorders, your goal should not merely be to uncover quick answers or definitive solutions, but to cultivate a deeper, more nuanced awareness of the intricate patterns and interwoven complexities that govern human behavior. The quest is not a sprint toward clarity, but a patient and deliberate journey, where each piece of knowledge builds upon the last, creating a mosaic of understanding that transcends the superficial. This process requires resilience and a willingness to look beyond the surface, to question assumptions, and to accept that some truths may remain elusive, waiting to reveal themselves only through time and reflection. Reflect deeply upon the pressures faced by your content creators. These individuals, much like the merchants of my era, operate within a system that demands they cater to the expectations of their audience. The algorithms that dictate their visibility are unyielding in their preference for simplicity and certainty, rewarding those who can condense complex truths into easily digestible narratives. This digital economy, designed to capture attention, creates a phenomenon akin to a feedback loop, where low-resolution explanations and quick-fix solutions gain dominance. Over time, this dynamic distorts understanding, fostering an environment where nuance is sacrificed for convenience and complexity is ignored in favor of mass appeal. As a seeker of truth, you must rise above these limitations and resist the allure of immediate answers. True wisdom is rarely found in the fleeting comfort of simplicity. Instead, it demands a commitment to critical thinking and the courage to engage with ambiguity. Like the philosopher who questions the assumptions of the masses, you must strive to discern the gaps and biases inherent in what is presented to you. Recognize that the content creators you follow are themselves subject to immense pressures, often navigating the fine line between authenticity and audience expectations. To pursue wisdom in this environment is not merely to consume, but to actively interrogate, to explore deeper, and to embrace the discomfort of complexity. Think of the analogy of the sculptor and the marble. A sculptor does not demand the stone reveal its form instantly. Rather, they begin with a vision, one refined over time through observation, reflection, and effort. With every careful strike of the chisel, they uncover a hidden beauty that was always present, yet concealed beneath the surface. This process is not rushed, for haste risks irreparable mistakes, but rather it is guided by patience, precision, and a deep respect for the material. Similarly, understanding the complexities of personality disorders demands the same level of care and intention. It is not a task of broad strokes or simplistic conclusions, but one of deliberate and thoughtful exploration. Each new insight must be treated as part of a larger, evolving picture, revealing truths that may take months or even years to fully appreciate. This work requires us to resist the temptation of superficial answers and instead engage in the painstaking effort to uncover layers of meaning and interconnection. By approaching the subject with such meticulous care, we honor the complexity of the human psyche and move closer to the genuine insights that lead to understanding and growth. Imagine once more our hypothetical man, the father of two, grappling with the realization that his partner may have narcissistic traits. His world, once stable, now feels like shifting sands underfoot. Each conversation with his partner feels like navigating a minefield, where even the smallest misstep could trigger an emotional explosion. In the quiet hours of the night, he finds himself scrolling through endless articles and videos, desperate for a roadmap to explain the chaos he's living. The digital agora offers him a semblance of understanding, labels, definitions, and advice wrapped in confident assertions. Yet, instead of clarity, he finds himself more lost than before, his confusion compounded by the conflicting and oversimplified answers presented to him. Why? Because the solutions he's offered lack depth, and the problem itself is far more intricate than he's been led to believe. Personality traits, shaped by years of experiences, traumas, and cultural influences, cannot be neatly boxed into simplistic diagnoses. The human psyche is not a puzzle with pieces that fit together in only one way. It is a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving and reacting to its environment. In such moments, the Stoic practice of temperance becomes invaluable. By moderating his expectations, resisting the urge to find immediate answers, and embracing the uncertainty of the situation, he begins to shift his focus from control to understanding. This man must learn to see the broader context of his partner's actions, recognizing that behavior is often a reflection of unseen battles within. Temperance allows him to pause, to reflect on his own emotions, and to approach the situation with compassion rather than judgment. It teaches him that the answers he seeks will not come in neat, ready-made packages, but through a commitment to patience and introspection. Through this lens, he can begin to navigate the complexities of his relationship with clarity and purpose, finding not only solutions, but growth for himself and those around him. As I sit here in the flow of time, pondering the human condition, I am reminded of the dynamic nature of life. Everything moves, everything transforms, like a river, endlessly flowing and carving new paths through the landscape of existence. Personality disorders, as defined in your time, are not fixed entities. They evolve, they intertwine, and they manifest uniquely in each individual, influenced by countless factors: genetic, environmental, and experiential. To view them as static labels is to misunderstand their essence, for they are as fluid as the seasons, ever-changing and adapting to the currents of life. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us to accept this flux, to find peace in the uncertainty, and to act with virtue regardless of the circumstances. Just as we cannot stop the river's flow, we must not cling to rigid perceptions of the self or others. Instead, we should strive to observe the shifts with patience and humility, recognizing that true understanding lies not in fixing the ephemeral, but in navigating it with clarity and purpose. Embrace this impermanence as a guide, a reminder that growth and transformation are the natural state of all things, and through this acceptance, you will discover resilience and peace. When you confront the challenges posed by personality disorders, whether in yourself or others, remember to cultivate the virtues of patience, empathy, and resilience. These qualities are not merely tools to endure the storm, but are the very oars that propel your ship through turbulent waters. Patience allows you to navigate moments of uncertainty without succumbing to frustration, providing the space needed for understanding to emerge. Empathy, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, invites you to see beyond actions and behaviors, to glimpse the struggles and vulnerabilities that lie beneath. Resilience, forged in the fires of adversity, equips you to withstand life's trials without losing sight of your purpose. These virtues, when embraced, act as a compass, guiding you through the intricate maze of the human experience. They teach you that facing adversities is not about seeking control or instant resolution, but about cultivating a mindset that values growth over perfection. By aligning yourself with the principles of Stoicism, you learn to transcend the limitations of simplistic thinking, rejecting the allure of quick fixes and embracing the profound depth of life's complexities. Through this alignment, you not only gain insight into the nature of personality and behavior, but also develop the strength to transform challenges into opportunities for wisdom and inner peace. Farewell, seeker of wisdom. May your journey through the labyrinth of understanding bring you not just answers, but the clarity to ask better questions, those that spark further growth and discovery. May you find the strength to embrace the complexities of life with a steadfast heart, understanding that true progress often lies not in resolution, but in the willingness to explore and adapt. May you walk the path of virtue with courage and determination, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the harmony of wisdom and inner peace. The Stoic way is not easy. It requires perseverance, reflection, and an enduring commitment to growth. Yet, it is the only path that leads to the profound tranquility of a life well lived and a mind attuned to the rhythm of nature and reason.